Hi, I'm Liz Cully, and welcome back to Cool, Cool, Cool. Each week, I give you a glimpse into what I think is cool and chat with a ton of people that are definitely cool. No topic is off bounds unless, I guess, it's not cool. Welcome to Cool, Cool, Cool. Would you consider yourself a recovering musical theater?
Bet of course. I say I'll go back once I make my TV money. And then I do my stint in Chicago. I do a short engagement. But no, I'm recovered, hon. Oof.
Like, what was your most favorite role?
Well, is this happening?
Oh, yeah. I want to know.
The favorite role was the role that I thought was going to catapult me into a different tax bracket, and it didn't, which was the national tour of Elf the Musical. I played Buddy the Elf. The gay Jew toured the conch.
No, who wrote that? Who took that and made that?
You'd be surprised the amount of money that musical has made. Elf. And how much I did not. I mean, truly dark side.
How many cities did you do?
I did the show twice, 2014 and 2018, and I did a lot of cities. Like San Francisco, I did for 3 weeks at the Current Theater.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw Wicked there, actually.
Oh, gee.
But I saw it when it wasn't even, it was like a pre.
I know.
Yeah.
That's where, I'm telling you, when I was there, I was like, oh my God, these are the dressing rooms that Adina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth were in when they were pre-Broadway.
Pre-Broadway.
Yeah.
I saw it. I've seen, Wicked is one of those that I've seen, and I saw them perform it in New York when I lived in New York.
OG Stan.
Alphabet City. That time in art. Well, okay. What's the best name of one of the musical numbers? Because I can only imagine.
Oh my God, such a good question.
They're like insane musical numbers in Elf, the musical.
So I'm going to tell you the best one. Sparkle, jolly, twinkle, jingly. Bitch. I added the bitch, but it's sparkle, jolly, twinkle, jingly. It's the scene in the department store. I guess I teach. Buddy teaches the store manager and all of the employees how to really jazz up the space like we do in the North Pole, of course. It's sparkle, jolly, twinkle, jingly.
I knew you couldn't help yourself. I knew it was coming. What is a role that you feel like you deserve to have played by now?
Well, you know what's funny
Broadway.
that you asked that is that I met my husband at an audition for Fiddler on the Roof, and neither of us booked, but I was like, if I don't get asked to play Model the Tailor professionally, take my Jew card away. I was like, what is wrong with you people? I've got the Jewy beard, the visage, the range, and I never I played model in high school and then never did it. So that was one. God, what else? I mean, I will tell you that I've talked about this before on my podcast. I botched a callback for the Book of Mormon, just really did poorly, and they never wanted to see me again. But I did understudy Perez Hilton in the Full House musical that we first did in Toronto and then off Broadway in New York City.
Wait, okay. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Just kernels of surprises. Who were the twins? Was there one Michelle, or were there two? It would have been amazing if there was two twins playing the one character at the same time.
They had one actor, but she was fully 5 feet, and it was a very parody musical. I mean, it was like there was a number called Cum Dumpster. That was the vibe. And then Danny Tanner was surrounded by these idiots. And Jesse, actually, shout out to who played Jesse, is kind of like an LA gay girl, John Duff, who is like a gay pop girlina.
Yeah.
He played Uncle Jesse. And it was, shout out to the writers too. They've created like a million parodies that have done off Broadway.
Is this the same group of folks that have done all of the musical parodies that I unfortunately have been invited to and had to go to on the east side of what did I go and see? I think I saw Legally Blonde or like something, and they're dancing on the tabletops, and I'm there and I can't get it. Oh, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I think.
These might be different people for those, because they did their first one was actually pretty big. It was Showgirls.
Oh no, that sounds fabulous.
Yeah, they did Showgirls. They've done Full House. They ended up doing Saved by the Bell was a big one they did.
I hope they obviously did the diet pills scene.
Of course. It was all like camp, dumb. And I watched Perez Hilton do it in Toronto, and he had a date where he was going to be like the VMAs or something. And
when they still invited him to go to such things,
apparently, and I was like, great, now I get to do it. And then he canceled it, and then I never got to go on until he left the show, and then I replaced him and got to sing the score the way it was written.
Can I make a confession about Full House? Well, when I literally, as a baby, you cannot tell the difference between me and the Olsen twins. Like, I am them, they are me.
I don't not see that.
Listen, I am the chubby third twin. It's what it was. And then, and you know, I was born and raised in San Francisco, so I like loved watching the show.
Whatever happened to her?
And also, like, no one ever plays in that park because it's like riddled with homeless people. But anyway, I used to pray at night. Like this is a true story. And I've never obviously said it on camera. I think I just admitted it recently to my wife. I used to pray to God that I would look like DJ Tanner when I grew up.
The studio audience just gasped in the room.
Who is now like a conservative, right-wing Christian,
gay
hater.
What was it about her visage that made you? What did you aspire to have of hers?
I just thought she was the coolest girl.
She was not uncool. She was cool. But she grew up to be uncool. She grew up to be what's the Luann line? Don't be all uncool. She turned all uncool and then went anti.
I mean, just the most uncool. And also, like, her brother's a creep. Like, don't they have like 50 siblings?
I don't.
You don't know? You didn't dive into that. Remember her brother, though? Cameron Kirk?
Oh, my God. I try to stay away.
Or Kirk Cameron. Sorry, I just flipped it. Kirk Cameron, right? Yeah, Kirk Cameron. With the curly hair.
The audience is nodding. No, I think they're all cursed. And I feel like anything that surrounds that culture, what's the family with 25 kids and half of them are child molesters? The Duggars.
Yeah, TLC.
The Duggars, I think I love to sometimes, I don't love anything that's happening, but I think that those shows are rife with good drama. But the Cameron, the DJ Tanner
it's a no
stuff,
for me, dog.
It is a no for me. Although, if quick pivot, the fact that all the Hallmark Channel, so she went to have her own network that hates happiness.
Gays.
And then, did you see that Hallmark Queen from Mean Girls?
No, it's not coming to me.
Name the girls in Mean Girls. Regina George, Katie Heron.
Lindsay Lohan.
Karen.
I think that's Katie.
And then what's the other one's name?
Calling in a Friend, Sarah Fraser, who's actually literally in the fucking room.
It is Lacey Chabert.
Oh, Lacey Chabert. Thank you so much, Sarah Fraser. Please go listen to the Sarah Fraser show.
Please. Lacey Chabert is a Hallmark queen, and it just got announced that she's doing a Netflix holiday romantic comedy. So she's moved over to a new streamer. But she is, I think, the good example of like she was in what I consider a gay cultural iconic hit, Mean Girls, or just transcends gay and straight. But then she's made her coin on Hallmark.
Yes.
And I think, God bless her, that's the way to do it. The gay hater moved to the...
Well, and then I saw a clip recently where she's like, I was on The View for 2 years. And, The View is supposed to be different of opinions, but really it's just liberals and me. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but like, you're on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, big time.
I'm just grateful that I was born into a body and to a world where I can be a part of the like cools and the funs and the queers and the FAGGGs.
Yes.
Thank God.
Literally, thank God. Before we get into twins, one of my favorite topics of cool. Did you happen to see Northwest performing at the Lion King?
I'm gonna be a mighty king. Full flat.
Did you go?
Did I go? No, I think I was busy. I might have been in Palm Springs, brag, but I think I did.
Oh yeah, you were having like an orgy affair. I literally was like,
I wish I could tell you I was fucked down dirty boots, but I was fully tight as a clam. nothing.
What else do you guys do then? Talk?
Pool, bitch. I mean, we talk, we pool. I did go out for like Memorial Day gay bar moments and felt immediately triggered by, the high school. But like, I'm going to stop referencing your title.
But love continue, please.
But it was very much like
tame.
Yeah, in terms of like the thing that was so fun about it was like I truly background is I moved to LA only 2.5 years ago. I didn't have a huge gay circle in New York for whatever reason. And since I moved out here, I've really like, I'm gay study abroad. I'm like doing these things I never got to do. And so I like will go to new friends' houses in Palm Springs and do dinner. My husband cooked a Shabbat dinner. He is fully Catholic, cooked a Shabbat dinner.
Love that.
For our gays who came over. We went to a bunch of restaurants. It was kind of like and of course I had to work on my podcast stuff. So that's like that.
The first 3 years of LA is fun.
I'm there. Well, I'm about to hit
go downhill
Great.
Shortly.
I'm going to turn into a fully like Botoxed, like, monster.
You don't need it. You're too young. Where would it go?
We'll talk about then we'll bleach.
In. Look
then
at
we'll
that
bleach
little
my asshole.
Sure.
It's winking at you.
I have a friend that did that. Actually, we were Rachel and I were staying at we had to have some construction done. And we were staying at their apartment and I got into the shower and I was like, oh, is this body wash? And it was ass bleach. She's also a sex worker, so it makes sense. But like my asshole is not bleached.
Oh no, dark holes are the goals.
So you did see Northwest.
Saw the clip and saw the outrage.
Did you see the audition tapes that now people are which only 1 out of the 30 I saw was acceptable?
Oh, well, be honest, I didn't watch those tapes because I felt like I didn't again, it's like when you're watching a slow car accident, I feel like the musical theater full circle moment, it's a triggering situation. And I think the fact that people should be angry.
It's just, listen, I grew up in theater. Musical theater was just like, it was taking it a stretch too far from the nerd crew.
It's far.
And also I was like, can't we just listen to like good music? Like why is like, I'm like, oh my God, like just put on rap music. Shut up.
I do take umbrage. There is some good musical theater music, but that's neither here nor there. Like what?
What are you listening? It's like you get in the car and what are you just bumping fucking
I don't know if
Avenue Q?
She says as if it's like not amazing. So I will tell you.
Little Chicago.
Well, the movie was a masterpiece, but when I was in high school.
Thump or what is it? Stop.
Okay, we're not listening to Stop. Hey, try not to track 3. It's just like trash cans. No, Spring Awakening.
Oh God, I interviewed that guy.
Jonathan Groff?
Yes.
My future second husband? Oh, the things I would talk about a bleach asshole. I'm kidding. He's probably fully natural.
He goes into a question that I can't wait to ask you, which is who is the most insufferable gay man?
Jonathan Groff to you is insufferable?
Have you watched Looking? What did we do to deserve Looking?
That's a whole other category, especially as like a gay man who finds himself hosting a podcast. Looking is rife with controversy because people say it was before its time, that it was boo, boo, boo. Was his character insufferable? Sure. But have you seen the press clips of him doing Merrily We Roll Along with Daniel Radcliffe and Lindsay Mendez? Fine.
But yeah, I also saw him with black eyeliner in the Trader Joe's on Crescent Heights and Sunset.
Perfect.
In like a denim vest.
Perfect.
With rosé wine and what else flowers, and he had like some really annoying girl with him, and I was like, okay,
Leah Michelle,
potentially.
No, that does give me pause that he is, but I'm not gonna shade her only because I think she has turned the boat around a little bit. She's a monstress, of course, but the fact that she leaned into the she can't read memes finally and like did that, like, come on, thank God.
She had to go somewhere.
Right. And I think the fact that we aren't actively hating her on an hourly basis anymore shows that she did. I mean, talk about Broadway again, the funny girl stuff. Anywho, back to something else.
Well, I was saying like, okay, so we just have to wrap up Northwest. So I think it's hard because you don't want to be critical of a child.
Yes.
However, if you are said child and you've decided to get on a stage as I'm sure you knew growing up in theater, and me, you're auditioning. It's not a life that most children should lead, because you are getting criticism, you are getting no's. People are literally commenting on your voice, your body, your attitude, your everything.
And let it be clear, I would have been just as bad, if not worse, than North. I was not a talented child.
Oh, I was a really talented child. That would have been amazing. Crushed. I was in a Philadelphia Story as a child. And I was jamais. I'm just saying that it doesn't seem fair. And yes, people knew when they were buying tickets that Northwest was like making her debut in a onesie and Crocs, which also felt insanity.
There were people online that were saying that how dare North wear the onesie when the costumes were so beautiful for the original production. But my question is, there was a lot of decisions made here. It wasn't just North was like, I'm going to wear a onesie. I'm sure multiple people had to okay that. And I just think it was a lot of decisions were made along the way to get that person on that stage that were the wrong decision.
But also, it felt like when I watched the clips as if we were being forced to watch, like, me as a little child performing for her parents and her drunk parents after a cocktail party in the living room before everyone like went home.
But unfortunately, it would be as if you were performing your own show with only Broadway performers around you.
I mean,
like, it's quite a dichotomy of like, I'm gonna be the main event, and then everyone else is like belting so perfectly.
It just was.
It's not nice to her. It's not nice to North, if we're being honest. It was a disservice to the audience and to North and to the people putting on the show who agreed to this. PR wise, they got what they wished for, which was a headline about a musical at the Hollywood Bowl.
I know, but it's just layered and it makes me feel weird inside.
I know. And I hope that North is shielded from people talking about.
No, she can't be. There's just no way. But
I'm talking about North on a podcast, I'm like, I hope she doesn't hear us saying how awful she was, but like,
and how you're mimicking how flat she was. Yeah, I mean,
who did that? I never once mimicked her. Roll tape.
You have a fraternal twin brother like the Olsen twins, but not because they're identical and you guys are not.
That is a difference. And we were born at slightly different sizes. I was like, a pound or two more. But the differences as we grew up became like, literally, I grew into like full gay Gagatronda by like age 5. He became douchey McDouche by age 5. But we were still actually good friends. I became 6 feet tall. He was staying at 5 feet at our bar mitzvah. Devastating. And then, but we were
full foot.
Full foot. My voice, talk about flat. My voice had dropped. His had not. I knew what masturbation was. He said, "Who?"
You're like on Grindr.
I mean, I was definitely in chat rooms at like 16 doing phone sex with men across the country, being like, "Yeah, I'm 8," because I sounded like I was 50. Anywho, my twin and I were really close until.
Did you share a room?
We did. Bunk bed, bitch.
Who at the top?
I love that. We lived in a democracy, and true story, we switched off every month.
What?
God, I'm going to tell a story that's really dark, but it's a part of our history.
Please do.
I don't talk about it with him anymore because it really was like a mortifying, what do they call it? The core memory moment. But we had been switching top and bottom bunk every month to be democratic. And this particular month, I was on the top. I had also recently figured out what masturbation was. And so I did not want to masturbate on the top bunk because I'm not saying I'm doing a full choreography, but I didn't want to rock the boat. So what I is I was like, let me borrow the bottom. It's closer to the ground, closer to the center of the earth.
For one night.
Gravity. No, for a few minutes. Everyone was gone. Well, who cares?
But he's in the room.
No, at this point, he's out of the house. Or so I thought. Cut to, I'm doing the dirt. The door opens. He doesn't know what's happening because he doesn't know what it is. He's like, what are you doing? And he did not sleep in the bed for at least a week. And my mom was like, why are you sleeping on the couch? And I was like, don't tell her. And we still have barely spoken about it since. But it was so,
How old were you?
Right when a young boy would find out how good it can feel.
What is that, like 3rd grade? 4th grade? I don't know.
I do hear that girls are getting their periods earlier, but that's not, I don't think
I got my period so early, 10, fourth
that
grade.
is, see, you're a trendsetter. You always see what's ahead and you say,
I do.
no, I was probably 12-ish, maybe 13, but 12 was probably what it was. And I was, just like many of us young boys, I was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Eric, do you want to go to the mall? No, I'm going to stay here. Eric, do you want to go to the pool? No, I'm devastated at the fact that I have body hair and I want to jack off. And that's
Were you on the World Wide Web?
www.jackinworld.com was
Okay.
where they taught techniques for masturbation. And I told myself, I'm not gay. I'm a student. I'm learning what feels good.
I
And
think
then,
that's what they said in Challengers too.
exactly. Yeah. We're just, one of us is in college and the other one is trying to be a pro tennis player. But I literally started to then watch videos of guys touching themselves. Because again, I was learning. I was on an
You were a student.
academic.
You were a student. Yeah.
I was studying abroad. And then those videos would lead to man on man. And I was like, ugh, I don't want to watch that. And then enough times I'd be like, I do want to watch that. And I just became fully watching gay porn. All when I'm 13, 14, 15. And
Did you ever get caught? Because how many computers did you have in your house?
So we had one that
Yep.
my brother and I would borrow. And then we ended up
like a
getting
laptop.
No, this was desktop. And we
Okay.
had the office, quote unquote office, where we would, each get a time on the computer. And then we got a second computer. And then my brother and I would sit there after school, both on the computers. I would make it face a way that he couldn't see. And I wasn't watching porn while he was there, but what I was doing was AIM chatting with a guy I had a crush on, who I didn't fully admit to myself I had a crush on, but I did. And we would talk about jacking off a little bit because we were
Where did you meet this guy?
yeah, I was in school.
Oh,
then.
it was in
A
school.
schoolmate.
How old are you now?
Probably like 16. And this is, I think for a lot of us queers, I don't know if this was the same for you, but like my sheer desire, my like physical and sure emotional desire to like be myself, be gay, be with a man. Like I was so in denial for so many years. I would in the shower try to touch myself thinking about Kim Cattrall in Sex and the City because she was so hot in the show. But I was like, oh, I don't want to fuck her. I just want to fuck the 3,000 men that she's fucking. But I like really was in denial. And then it gets to the point where you're just like, I'm flirting with this guy, but I'm not going to come out. I don't want to be gay. I'm not going to come out. And then by 18, I was like, my mom asked me.
Really?
We were in Chicago O'Hare on a trip to visit colleges. My mom said, Eric, you've used to talk to me about being bullied and struggling with your sexuality. How are you feeling about that? Which is a very Jewish mother like way to bring up. Oh yeah, how's your Panda Express? Are you gay? And I said, and I immediately start weeping.
Oh.
And I say, I think I am. And then I felt this weight lift off. Told my dad soon after. And I graduated. That was like April of senior year.
And is it just you and your brother?
There's 4 of us and we're all boys. So I was like always surrounded by
Really?
boys. Yeah.
And where do you guys fall? Were you the first two or the second two?
I have an older brother, my twin brother, and my younger brother. My younger brother had just started to.
Oh, your parents are sociopaths.
Of course.
Wait, what do you mean there's 4? 1, 2, oh, duh.
Carry the 2.
Counting.
Carry the 2.
Counting.
Yeah. So the funny thing about the timing of it is that my younger brother is like 5 years younger than me. And he started to be at that point in school, which a lot of young boys do, which is like their insult is to call you gay.
Yeah.
And my brother started to do this, but I was like, he's too young for me to tell him I'm gay. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, where like we didn't know barely any gay people. So it was still, I was like, new frontier vibes. And finally, my brother would make fun of me or him or whatever. And my twin brother would say, tell him you're gay, tell him. And finally I was like, so to my younger brother, I was like, so you know how like you're calling me gay? Well, I am one of them. So you better not do that because you're talking to one. And his eyes, you should have seen.
What's his vibe?
He's this, truly, not just saying this because I'm on a recording. He's always been so sweet. He's such a mensch. He's also, all my brothers are tiny, so short. But he's just the sweetest. He did theater because I did theater. He just got married this past year. Shout out. We love Matt and Emily, gorgeous couple. But no, he was like, just in 7th grade. And that's what the kids were doing. And then the second I told him, he was just like shook. and then was on board. But
and what about your older brother?
My famous line from my older brother. He was in college at the University of Miami. And this goes to show you how little my
Just
family
on
knew.
blow.
Truly, blow on blow, 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 blow. I come out to him and he said, quote, so wait, and he's in college. So wait, the way that you like guys, is that the way that I like girls?
So not only did you take all the nutrients from your twin brother while your mom was pregnant, but you took all the smart pills from your
I took an outside of the Midwesternness is what happened. I think like, when you're gay in any way, you sort of transcend the borders of where you live because your experience is not.
Yeah, your taste level is different.
Well, that too. But like he just hadn't known anyone. And I would remember being angry at the time because I was like, and in hindsight, it really validates my experience of feeling lonely.
Yeah.
Because I was around in a community of people that just didn't know anything about gay people at all. And ever since then, literally every decade of my life is a new experience of meeting my family where they are. Because if we're being honest, they are so many gay people, of course, have gone through like, horrible experiences with their family. And my family was really great. I mean, like came out, they were there to support me. I met my now husband. They were always gung-ho, always making him feel welcome. But of course, there's like comments like my brother said when I came out and things like that, where I'm like, what is happening here? And I've had to learn to be like, oh, I am now deeply entrenched in a gay world, in a world that and I'm evolving and growing, but they're not knowing as many people and they've grown a ton. But part of it is because we've allowed each other to be who we are. And it's still an experience. It's still.
Yeah.
I have this big gay show that I do, and my parents went to it for the first time last year, and it was cool to see them surrounded by like people scream laughing about the word faggot over and over. I was like, this like is delicious.
Did you talk about how much sex you have at that live show?
You know what I did do is I make fun of my parents in that show, and my parents, to their credit, are very like I have a Jewish mother. I make fun of her. I really used to in like the first things I was putting out. Now it's like not as interesting for me because it's like
you've done it.
I've done it, but no, I did a show in St. Louis where I'm from that made fun of my mom, and we did it at the Jewish Community Center. So all of her friends were in the front row watching me, really go in, and then they were like afraid to laugh and my mom, to her credit, was like, I had warned her about the worst ones, but she was like,
but she's also happy that you're talking about her on stage. Because let me tell you, my mom, who is a monster, loves to hear when I talk about her. Anytime.
I'm sure. No,
she loves it.
I just did a video with my mom about this very exciting article that came out in Variety about the podcast, and I made a video with my mom where she was like, "Oh, it's only the one page," and she like loved it. She was on set, hun.
Yeah.
Lights, camera, act.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, she loved it.
She was like, little touch up. Here's my writer.
Last looks?
Exactly.
Can we get last looks?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, and you've been in LA for 2 years, but your podcast really has blown up. Famously, I have to tell the story because you relegated me to your Patreon so that no one will ever hear that episode.
No, it's because you volunteered. I do these sex diary interviews, and
I had to find an angle, and I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
So there I was, and you guys remember, I interviewed little Grossy Pelosi, my little sweetie baby angel, San Francisco, like friend, talk about looking. And I went to his book signing because he invited me to be there. And so I went and I see you, and I'm like, oh, that's the gay ass podcast guy. Oh my God, he gets such big guests because gay men only support gay men and they never come on my show. And so I'm like, oh, fuck it. And I walk up to you. I'm like, oh my God, hi. Like, I'm Liz from Cool Cool Cool. You're like, oh, I'm like, scissoring isn't a thing. Bravo. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, okay, well, like, I would love for you.
I take umbrage immediately, but continue.
I would like love for you to be like on my, like, we should talk. Like, I would love for you to be on Cool Cool Cool. And you say, great. Not, we should do a pod swap, or like, that would be great. I would love for you to come on my show. And you leave, or I go and sit at another table. My friend had come and met me, and I literally was like, oh my God. So I see that you post on your Instagram, like does anybody have like, polyamory or crazy stories? And of course, me being me, I was like, this is my chance. He never asked me to come on the show and he never will because I'm not fucking Bo and Yang. But let me just throw it out there. And I'm like, I'll come and talk about like polyamory and sex parties and whatever you want just because I wanted to be on your show.
In defense, you're talking on your podcast who has had Margaret Cho, has had...
You just had Margaret Cho.
So you've had the most incredible... It's like, and by the way, your interpretation, I believe...
It's factual.
I will believe victims here, but I remember being like, oh my God, I know the cool girl. And I remember being like, I know exactly who you are.
I don't remember it that way.
Also defense is, whose podcast first?
Oh yeah, that's fair enough.
So I love your moxie here, but I also...
My revisionist history is unlike
I will
anybody
also tell
else's.
you that Eric Williams reached out to Liz Kelly first to do the pod. And by the way, there is ample opportunity for you to come back on Gas Pod. And I will bring it back full circle and say how genuinely thrilled I am to be here on this stunning set with this stunning host. I was just listening to your episode with the comments by celebs.
Oh yeah, she's the best.
I love your pod.
You're so sweet. I was not fishing.
No,
obviously I was.
I just want to like truly like
trout.
There's the world of media and podcasting. It's so much work and so much goes into it. And like this, I'm just very grateful.
So much. Well, no, I'm grateful. And you know what's crazy is that I talk about it all the time, but there is so much hard work. And then you get to the layer of queer podcasting, which is a whole nother world that really like the drag queens and World of Wonder have dominated in this like strange way. So then you kind of have to have your own voices there and really, and we talked about this after we recorded. It's like so interesting to me how much stock traditional entertainment folks put on celebrities or numbers or names on podcasts. When really what I've learned, and we just had fucking radio icon extraordinaire Sarah Fraser literally on the couch watching us perform here. It really is this connection that people have, and it has nothing to do with celebrity, but they love, and I love it when podcasters get together and support each other and do each other's shows. Yes. Because it's like this fun, weird crossover.
Well, and I want to shout out, because you said that, the Liz Kellys of the world that are so much about connection and like, uplifting each other. Danny Pellegrino has surprised me in that way too.
Danny's a sweetie pie.
He's so sweet. He's got this gigantic podcast that he's, done on his own. And it's so huge and so good. The boys from Watch What Crappens, Ben and Ronnie, it's like when I first got into the podcasting world, I had the imposter syndrome that you don't even know. I talked about it in therapy every single week. I was like, why would I do this? No one cares about me. I am a fly on a piece of shit. And then I just started asking people to come on and got some yeses and started talking to Ben and Ronnie when they came on. And they were just like so giving and like,
they're the best.
And they're saying how it's possible. And it's just...
And they've been doing that show for
like 13
years?
Like over 10 years.
It's over 10. I mean, and they are lovely, and I've been on their show, vice versa. Like
incredible.
Danny's the best. I mean, it is. And I also appreciate, because people get big really quick. So Amanda from Not Skinny Not Fat, who's an old good friend of mine who I met through podcasting, just had Hannah from Hacks, which was my favorite show, on the podcast. And so I texted her, even though she's like literally was supposed to have a baby 2 weeks ago. And I was like, you know what, Amanda, I'm trying to still be your friend. I am trying to still like you. I mean, it's all a joke. I am trying, but I am so fucking jealous of you and the people that you're booking. But like, she'll tell you, just like Ronnie, just like Danny. I mean, that was just constant work. And it takes like 5+ years. It really takes time.
I told myself when I started the podcast, I'm on a 5-year plan. If my podcast doesn't start to like make the work worth it, like bring returns. And anyway, it doesn't need to be financial. It can be, community wise, whatever it is. I was like, it's just too much work. And I'm now like 3.5 years in, and I'm definitely, being able to interview amazing people. But it's been, not to get too Oprah-y about it, I think the actual lesson I've learned is that it's worth it to take a risk on yourself in that way. Like create the thing and like ask the people to do the podcast. If you get a no, which I've gotten so many no's, I've gotten so many no responses. And I learned, that that's just a part of the game of being brave and putting your shit out there. And I think that that's regardless of what happens with the numbers, with the money, with the boop, 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 it's all about being authentic and then just like trying to put shit out there. That's what I'm trying to do more and more, and not be in fight or flight, which I'm learning. I get into fight or flight every time I do something very new or scary. My body's like, you're not safe. And it's all from like growing up closeted and not 100%. Being able to trust my own gut. So I'm learning to trust my gut and like see what the fuck happens.
And here's the thing, you got to kiss a lot of frogs in podcasting. I say yes pretty much to everyone. Like I don't really say no. And sometimes it's a complete waste of my time. Poor Joel and his twin brother, Joseph, hear me fucking complain about it all the time. I'm like, why did I go on this person's show and waste my time? But it's like, you never know. I'm sure people think that way of me. And then obviously they fall in love with me. And then we get each other's cell phone numbers. And it's like, oh my God, we follow each other on Instagram. But it is, you just never, ever know. I mean, look at the people that have mega mansions in the middle of the country because they started a YouTube channel following their like 13 kids, as we just spoke about. Oh, yeah. Like you got to really believe in yourself at a certain point.
Well, that's also what I like about your show too, is that episode I was just listening to is you have very like real conversations about the social media landscape and how things are changing. And I feel like the same thing with podcasting. It's like, it's always changing. And like, you just have to, if I were to fixate, and I try not to, but if I were to fixate on the numbers or
I told you that when we talked.
It was so helpful when you said that. Cause like anything in the entertainment industry tries to equate your value with your numbers or with markers of success that aren't your actual value. And I am trying to just be present and feeling good about myself now and not think that I will only be happy when I'm more successful. That's like that's
hard to do though. I mean, it's even for me, it's like with weight or with it, like if I'm skinnier, will I be happier? Like if I get the upper left that I deserve, will my eyes be more awake and alert and will I look better? I will actually, but will I feel better? Like, who knows? I mean, it's all so, or like if I get that job or if I get this promotion or if it doesn't work out that way. And so you have to, and I love the medium of podcasting, especially for folks like us, even particularly in the queer, like comedy space, because we're like, no, like, okay, if we're not going to get booked on this TV show or if we're not going to do this, like, let's create our own content and they will come.
Well, it's funny that you say that because the biggest frustration I had when I was doing musical theater was I was like, I'm walking into these fucking rooms. I had an audition it was one of the last auditions I had when I was like fully entrenched in it. It was for a musical theater festival in New York called NYMF, New York Musical Festival, whatever. And they have 14 people behind a table all casting their shows. And because it was such a busy audition, they gave you like 8 measures of music to sing. So I walk in.
Oh my God.
This is the year of our Lord 2018, we'll say. And I walk in and they're all talking to each other about their lunch orders. And I remember I sang my 8 bars, which last all of 14 seconds. And I walk out and I was like, I deserve more than that. I know that I have more to offer to this world than a bunch of people who do not care if I live or die. And then I'm going to sing, I mean, probably. Unfortunately, I think Fiddler really worked for the slate of shows that year, but I might have sang Wonder of Wonder, Miracle of Miracles. But I was like, fuck this. And I immediately signed up for a commercial acting class. I started booking commercials and I was like, okay, so this is fun, but this is not the be all end all.
Well, because it's not acting. Because I was going to say that was how I made my bread and butter for, I don't know, 14 years doing commercials. But then I got to LA and I was like, if I say one more line, like one line, I'm like done.
Well, I wanted to, the first step was to be able to work and actually make money, like a living wage. So I did that. And then I realized, okay, that's not the full picture. So I started doing trying to be more brave and do more comedy. And then I had a show that stopped when the pandemic started. So then when the pandemic happened, I was like, I'm tired of waiting. Mm-hmm. So I made the podcast and literally any quote unquote success I've had in the past few years is only because of the things that I've been forced to start on my own because I was tired of waiting for. I mean, I'm like a bit of a specific girly. I'm like a 6'2" Jew from Missouri that like has a bit of a character schnoz. And here I am to report, if they're not going to give it to you, hun, you give it to them.
Well, you bring up character and character actor. You have your merch says character actress, which by the way, I had a merch fail. If anybody wants to buy my merch, please do it. I'm going to put it up for 50% off for June because get it out of my fucking garage. You talk a lot about character actresses. Who is your favorite character actress?
So funny you asked that because the thing that spawned that, and people love to debate what a character actress is. I literally am not interested in being canceled for saying X person is a character actress. But to me, it's a woman over a certain age who has worn one wig once. That's my barometer. And my character actress that made me gay is Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act 2. Talk about San Francisco.
I was just going to say.
St. Francis, hi, bitch.
Well, and if you don't think that I had Sister Act and Sister Act 2 on the VHS, and if you don't think that I have watched those two movies more I mean, like Lauryn Hill, that's where I fell in love. I mean,
I'm not joking. My friend D, shout out, was the person who showed me Sister Act 2 in their living room that we watched every weekend for, I'm going to say 8 months.
I mean, I've watched, it is, I know exactly where the church, St. Pat, I know where they filmed it, right on Mission Street. Like, I know right where it is.
I'm realizing in this moment, the full circle of it all is I just pitched to someone who very well could say no to doing my podcast. So whatever, safe space at cool. But Whoopi Goldberg was huge for me in that movie. And then there's a character actress in that movie that has gone on to have an amazing career that I just pitched to have on, which is Alana Ubach.
I thought it was Kathy Najimy.
Oh my God. Kathy Najimy is also huge for me.
I thought that might have been who.
Kathy would be, I mean, God, I need to start pitching to character actresses just to have
duh.
Yeah. Like I need to do that. But Alana Ubach, I was at a friend's birthday party and someone asked me this question, who's your character actress? And I say it changes every day. But Alana Ubach, if anybody doesn't know who she is, in Sister Act 2, she's like the redheadish girl. We're like, you don't know any songs? And she's like, well, I know one. The Love Boat, soon you'll be ready. She's also the mom in Euphoria. She's also the housekeeper in Meet the Fockers, where cancelable accent coming in. But she goes, Jace, I got the boob job. She's in Legally Blonde as like a Pilar, I think one of the sorority sisters, best friends of Elle Woods. She has had such an insane career.
Great.
And she's so good. And I just, through this friend, pitched to her to come on. And, fingers crossed. But she's in the trenches of character actress work.
That's a good one. That's a deep one.
And there are so many. I mean, the live show that I do is literally a competition show where 3 panelists compete for who knows their character actress of choice the best. So I'm doing it in New York next month for Pride, June 28th. And Matt Rogers is doing the show. And I just asked him today who he's going to choose. But people, Bo and Yang chose Allison Janney the last time we did it in New York. Margaret Cho just did it in LA and she did Kathy Bates. It's just fun to see who people, oh my God, Dwayne Perkins, this amazing comedy writer, actor, starlet. He chose Regina Hall and I have them do a lip sync during the show of one of their iconic scenes. And he did Regina Hall's Sister Act, take 2, Regina Hall's scary movie theater scene where she's watching Shakespeare in Love. It is, don't go in there. She gets stabbed by all the people around her because she's being too loud. It's genius. He won. He killed it. But character actresses, Regina Hall, huge for me. Anna Faris, scary movie franchise.
I was going to say Anna Faris.
These women just when you're a closet case and you don't feel seen, understood. And then you watch the Parker Posey and Waiting for Guffman, the Sister Act 2s, the scary movies, those are the things. Drop Dead Gorgeous. Those are the things that really raised me culturally. And that's why I fixate on them in the podcast and in some of the stuff I do.
What about a character actor? Or do they just not exist? Or are they
no, they do. It's funny. When you said that, the first person who came to my mind is someone who's, it's Willem Dafoe, who was just in Poor Things. And one of my closest friends in LA is a manager and he represents Willem Dafoe. So I get to hear some fun BTS. But but
he's a good character actor.
Great. I mean, also just he looks so specific, and he just got announced that he's doing something new that's a bit of a gag. I forget what it is, but yeah, so I feel like Tony Shalhoub is a character actor. He's like like he gives off.
Yeah.
And I aspire to one day be able to parlay the podcast and the live show, and I'm starting to work on another show of like, hopefully I can, be like maybe a Dan Levy or like those are, I would say Eugene Levy is character actor for sure.
For sure.
So
great and Meet the Fuckers as well.
Yeah. And I hope to one day, talk about Hacks getting renewed. Like that type. Jean Smart, I'm going to say character actress, and I'm going to say can do no wrong. And
nothing wrong.
That show should never end.
I need it to not end because it keeps just getting better and better.
Well, and
better. I think season 3 was like
incredible, and it makes sense because the writers they have on the show are so good.
It's true,
and the cast, it's all just delicious, and
it's top tier.
It is
because like you hate Hannah's girlfriend in it so much, but you like can't pinpoint.
But also
why.
Hannah, like she is. You know what? It's almost like when people hate on Carrie Bradshaw and Sex and the City, when people hate on Hannah Horvath and Girls, like it's cool. It's great to see the star of a show have like these unlikable. I don't know if you remember in the season of Hacks where like Hannah, I forget what exactly her character's doing, but she's distracted by looking at a billboard and then she crashes into the city bus in front of her. Yeah, this season. And then she gets out. She's like, sorry. It's like, it's so insufferable that she has done this. And the whole bus is like, are you fucking, no, I'm going to be late for fucking work. But it's like, it's so funny. It's
them getting like lost in the fucking forest and like the kids on the bikes come and find. It's too good. I love it so deeply, which is why I was so pissed at fucking Amanda and was like, God damn it. God damn you. No, but it's all because I'm actually happy for her because she's wonderful. And here we are.
Of course.
Speaking of gay men, who is the most overrated gay famous person?
You fucking messy bitch. Wait, the most overrated?
Yeah. Who is it? Who's the most overrated gay that you obviously want to have on your podcast?
You see the wheels turning right now. I'm like, the most overrated gay besides Jesus Christ is overrated. Overrated is interesting because you know who does come to mind is someone that I don't think I would work with, so it's probably okay. But I think that it's a huge example of just putting your work out and people just like saying yes is Ryan Murphy.
A top tier overrated gay.
It is the reason I say that
in the top 3 he is perhaps. So
I say that because it's kind of universally known by a lot of people who watch his shows that they start promising and then we kind of lose the plot. And I think that he has done many great things for us queers and gays, but also like
that Architectural Digest open door that was narrated by the Swans is the best thing that he's ever done.
He also has cast some amazing people. And the fact that
the Versace story is the only thing. That is what I will stand on. That is my favorite Ryan Murphy project.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm obsessed with Andrew Cunanan. Like if I know so many gay men in this town where I'm like, Andrew Cunanan, that is the next.
Well, and also, of course, now I'm going to start saying 25 nice things about him. But like, I think that the thing that he actually has done that I aspire to do is just like put shit out and then see where it lands. And he's not deterred. Didn't he produce or either like work on the musical? Talk about bad musical theater. The show itself wasn't bad. I had a ball. My husband didn't love it. But The Prom on Broadway became a movie that Meryl Streep was in, Nicole Kidman.
Well, and here's a fun fact is somebody who has been on this podcast, Jillian Gottlieb, who you might know from New York, is a huge musical theater actress, now turned skincare influencer extraordinaire. Her partner is he either scored it or one of the main writers of Prom the movie and Prom the musical. And it all comes back. And
it's the circle of life. Can you imagine that North comes out?
No. I can't. You know, could you
And
imagine?
it moves us all.
Do you know what Simba means?
No.
Have you not heard about this? Have you seen this on the internet?
No.
Simba is baby lion. It's not just a name.
Baby lion, bitch.
Yeah, Ryan Murphy's a good one. I think there's a lot of over relevant gay men, and that's fine.
Well, yeah, wait, can you put me on the spot? Give me an overrated gay guy.
I mean, Ryan Murphy might have been what I would have said,
Okay.
and I'm not lying. Who else? Ooh, so messy. I can't say that one because we talked about that off camera.
Uh-huh.
Can't say that other one because it's too close to home. Let's think of another one. Ooh. I mean,
You know what you could do is like, because here's the deal. We want to uplift our fellows, you know? But you could go like the tech route, a gay in tech that's like doing bad things to the planet.
who's that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess Tim Cook is kind of cute. You're right.
Oh my God, do you want to know a story about Tim Cook and me?
You have stories about.
Oh, yeah. So I'm on this other show called The Taylor Swift Show, and they call it Drop It Like It's Hot because I name drop all the time, which is fine. And it's fine. So there I was after the Oscars, and I'm at the Apple TV, or the Emmys. Was it the Oscars? The Oscars. I was at the Apple TV Killers of the Flower Moon, which was the saddest party in LA to be at. But I love my Apple TV clients. If you're listening, which you're not, I love you. You love me. It's all great. And I love Lily Gladstone was very kind to me during this campaign.
Lily
trail.
seems like a badass. Like,
She was wonderful. She showed up early to everything. We had a long conversation allegedly about taking edibles on planes and what could go wrong. She is wonderful. And when they invited me, I was like, you know what? I don't need to go to a work party. I want to go to a party and get completely blacked out and have a great time. So I went to the one party where they lost literally every single fucking award known to man.
Dark.
So anyway, so I'm at the Sunset Tower, living my best life. Drinking, having fun, chit-chatting around, seeing irrelevant gays, blobbity bloop bloop bloop.
As she points to me.
And I see this table and it had the burgers and fries that we all love from Sunset Tower Hotel. And I'm fucking starving. And I keep seeing the waiters with the burgers and I'm trying to get to them. But every time I get to one of them, it's all gone. So I see this table in the corner and I'm like, oh, just going to go over there. And I'm with my friend Courtney, who's wonderful. We go walk up to the table and I literally go like this to grab a burger. And these two massive security guards, I can't, I'm just looking at their middle section. I don't even, or maybe it was their belly buttons. I'm just so short and staring at them. And I look and they're like, ma'am. And I look up and I'm trying to take Tim Cook's burger.
I forgot that Tim Cook was the entree to the story.
Yeah, and so I'm literally trying to take Tim Cook's procured meal. And Tim's like, hi, how you doing? And I don't know what to do. And again, like you emailing every famous person to come on your show, I don't care. I am not scared. I will say hi to everyone. Also, a really big thing that I do that a lot of people know is that I treat famous people as if I have no idea who they are, especially the more famous they are. I'm like, where are you from? What do you do for work? And it throws them off every fucking time. Claire Danes literally went into a tailspin, didn't know what to do with herself because she's literally had no other existence than being an actor on television. And I was like, oh my God, where are you from? Midwest? What are you in? Doctor? PR? And Tim Cook was so nice. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Hi, I'm Liz. He's like, hi, I'm Tim. Thanks for coming to the party. I was like, thank you so much. I love the movie. And that was it.
I love that though, because he does give off
cyborg.
He gives off he could be cyborg, but at the end of the day, he's a gay guy with a dream, and that dream is to take over the world. I mean, I don't know. I give the man cred, and I have recently taken thought about how we as gay men interact with each other, because there is a lot of stereotypes about, let's talk about WeHo gays, for example. How you go to WeHo, it's gays on drugs or really materialistic and who are not nice to each other. And I've always sort of what's the word? I've always sort of like not loved that type of conversation because it doesn't feel like it like serving me or like what I'm trying to do. But I've now had this experience recently where I've been around some of those types of gays and I'm like, oh, it does exist. It's just in any community, there are the obnoxious people, you know?
I mean, you saying that being in West Hollywood with the gays that they're on drugs or materialistic is like Hollywood.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm like, that's true.
Like,
but I
you know?
the first 2 years I moved here, I've really been meeting like really grounded,
yeah, there's lovely people,
lovely down to earth people. And now, of course, because the more people I meet, the more types of people I meet, and I'm starting to meet some of those people. I'm like, oh, so there are really obnoxious gay people, but there's also really obnoxious any people. And so it's like, I'm trying, especially now that it's like, you know, plugged to Pride Month, but now that we're about to be in Pride Month and I'm like, or in Pride Month, I'm learning about how to protect my peace a little bit. And I think like...
So you will not be attending JoJo Siwa at LA Pride?
I mean, I am attending Kesha because I got a free ticket, but I'm not going to go to all 3 days in WeHo because that would ruin me because it ruined me last year. So it's like...
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's intense. Do you have any lesbian friends?
Oh my God, I do. Huge fan of the Lesbies. The person I was talking about that I grew up with that showed me Sister Act 2 is a queer legend in my eyes. Just like had a very gay wedding in Boston. And let me tell you about Dee. Dee is the kid of my mom's best friend.
Okay.
They, them pronouns, star. And they were absolutely my safe space growing up in St. Louis. And now that as we've gotten older,
Tim Cook. Got it.
They had this very gay wedding and my whole family flew to Boston for this wedding.
That's
and
cool.
Like, talk about healing to see my parents and my brothers be the minority because all of their friends were queer. And me, I'm there with my fucking gay ass husband. We're dancing to Robin on the dance floor. To watch my straight ass family be surrounded by only queer people and of course some other straights, that was so delicious to me. And so I give, you know, shout out to the Lesbies. They really were there for me in that wedding. And
so you have one lesbian friend.
No, I'm like, do I say Margaret Cho's a friend? No. No, I've got...
We can both say Margaret.
Are you Z-weighing me right now? Name a lesbian.
Am I Z-weighing you?
Name a lesbian.
Name a lesbian. Margaret Cho's not a lesbian.
Bi.
Pan. No?
Whatever.
Or maybe we're both bi. I don't know. I'm your friend. I can be your
Liz
one
Cully.
lesbian friend.
No, you want me to actually go down the list?
I mean, it sounds like you might need to. Not on this podcast, but later.
Oh,
you might need to
that.
think about that. How many lesbian friends you have? I have a few. But I don't only hang out with lesbians.
No, and I
only hang out with gay men because you guys end up having orgies at the end of the night and somehow just remain friends and it's all fine. I'll never understand it. It's out of control. It's nuts.
That's another topic also for another gay podcast because I, talk about it on, as you did on That's a Gay Ass Patreon. It's about like the sex of it all. I was monogamous with my husband for 8 years and now we're in this new uncharted territory for us and it's all new. I mean, that's also why I think I'm, not to defend the lesbian thing, but that's like the LA journey for me has been so gay.
To fuck. Sniffies all the way.
What's funny is that I really did have a slut period, but I'm not in one now because I got strep throat twice.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad that we're actually coming to the end of this podcast.
Yeah, do you want to talk about my pharmaceuticals? Honey, I haven't been a slut for a while.
Boy, just get an antibiotic shot.
Doxy Pep. Hashtag use gay ass for 20%. I don't have any partnership with anyone. But yeah, no, I love lesbians. I love sex. And I'm here to tell the tale.
I love you. And I'm so glad that we did this. I am
such a fan. I'm so glad. I'm glad I got to come on Cool, Cool, Cool. And this is just the beginning of our queer takeover.
I hope so.
That's the sound of your current hype level at the gas pump. But brace yourself for something fuel-nominal, because Unleaded 88 is about to take the hype to a whole new level. Unleaded 88 is cheaper, cleaner, and greener than regular unleaded. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So pump it up with Unleaded 88, brought to you by Iowa Corn.